It's funny, both Mark and I both left the weather center. I went out one door, you went out the other, so we could check the conditions. And it's icy out there.
Yeah, I actually made it outside.
Yeah. I was afraid I was going to get locked out. So I was trying to edge towards... Yeah, you went towards the guard, which is probably the right thing to do. But it's icy out there.
Yeah, so I saw a vehicle out front, and it's covered in a sheet of ice. You could hear the freezing rain coming down, and there's certainly a glaze, especially on untreated surfaces, bridges, overpasses, sidewalks, parking lots, your driveway. So, you know, the DOT is going to do their best to, of course, handle the main thoroughfares, but, you know, getting to those and underfoot and under tires is going to be tough.
It's going to be really tough, and with that, we're going to take a look at our Channel 3 early warning radar. It is scanning the state. We've got some mixed precipitation out there. No matter where you are getting some type of precipitation, maybe a little bit of a lull through southeast Connecticut, but you've got some snow coming down in parts of northern Connecticut. This is northwest Connecticut. Good morning to you up in Salisbury and Norfolk and Goshen. You've got, I just got an email from Todd in Colebrook. He said he's picked up about 1/4 of an inch of accretion out there, different types of precipitation, mainly snow at this point. But as you can see, we do have some sleet and some freezing rain, and that is all advancing towards the north. So I don't think we're going to pick up too much more in the way of snow accumulation, but the icing is going to be the concern throughout the day today. As you can see, we've got some of that sleet and freezing rain coming down in Hartford, down through Glastonbury. Route 2 is going to be proved to be problematic. But Caitlin, they cleared that accident rather quickly. They're doing a great job. So where was that accident?
In Windsor.
In Windsor, so that's good news. All right, as we take a look at Ashford and Eastford, some snowflakes flying around, nothing too substantial. Getting a little bit of a lull right now in parts of northeast Connecticut. And as we take you down, a little bit of a lull through Salem and Basra and Norwich, but you've got some of that mixed precipitation, some sleet and some freezing rain moving through parts of New Haven, West Haven. Good morning to you, waking up with us there. And unfortunately, there's more precipitation to get throughout the morning. So that is a bit unfortunate. This winter weather advisory is in effect, Mr. Dixon.
Yes, so for interior portions of the state, inland Connecticut, it runs all the way through this evening, but we do expect a transition over to rain by late morning throughout the southeastern part of Connecticut and along the shoreline. So the advisory only goes in through 10 o'clock this morning there. So as Scott mentioned, we're basically done with any sort of meaningful snow accumulation. It's more of a focus now going forward on the sleet and freezing rain. And while there's a lot of color on this map and some of these numbers may be a little bit aggressive, just want to draw your attention to this big swath of purple, because this is where we're expecting that potential icing that could lead to a concern for power outages and as well, you know, from say areas along the southeast of 84 from Tolland County all the way back through Fairfield County. So we're going to be monitoring this all day long and keep you updated on any power outages. But right now, any of that snow is transitioning over to that icy mix. Slippery travel really all across the state regardless, and that system, it's going to be lasting in some form or fashion, perhaps even ending as a little additional snow on the back end as it wraps up this evening.
All right, temperatures out there this morning in the mid to upper 20s. It was raw out there this morning as I walked out. I'm glad I had. And thank you so much for the compliments on my sweater. I so appreciate that. I'm getting a lot of emails. It's a nice sweater, isn't it? Thank you. We're taking a look at 26 at Bradley right now, 28 at Brainerd, 28 at Meriden, so below the freezing mark. We're just starting to get close to that freezing mark in Bridgeport, New Haven, 31 degrees right now. So it's so important to get to that freezing mark, if not a little bit above it. We'll start to see that transition over to a little bit of rain. But you'll notice the freezing rain icons are with us through 2 p.m. for inland Connecticut as the temperatures hover right around the 30-degree mark, maybe 31, possibly some 32s. For the shoreline, 31, 32s with that freezing rain icon. So that is unfortunate as well. It's a pretty big storm system going all the way up to Vermont, New Hampshire, bringing precipitation to mostly snow from Massachusetts this morning. And for us, we're getting that mix. As you can see there, that mix line continues to advance towards the north. And plain old rain, I'm sure my mother's not happy about this because her sump pump is not working in Long Island. Yeah, she's been on the phone with me for the last couple of days talking about that. More rain for Long Island, and that rain is advancing slowly towards the south shore of Connecticut. So if we take out a little bit further, there's more scattered precipitation back to the south and west. That's advancing in towards us, so it's going to be an unsettled day of weather. And here's Futurecast, tomorrow's weather today.
All right, so we're going to be watching those shades move farther north. The blue line is going to be making its way north, so that freezing rain making its way even up toward the Massachusetts border as we head towards, say, 9, 10 o'clock this morning. We're going to see that transition over to rain along the Connecticut shoreline. Here's the situation at noon. noon today. A good part of Connecticut still likely seeing that icy mix. And then there you can see that rain, perhaps even up to the 395 corridor where it meets up with Route 2 in southeastern Connecticut, New Haven eastward as well along the shoreline, going over to rain at a point this afternoon. Meanwhile, inland, hours long of sleet and freezing rain. And then tapering off a bit as we head toward the evening commute time, but we could see the precipitation wind down as some snow on the backside of this before it completely clears out. Then tomorrow we'll start off with sunshine. The big story tomorrow will be the arrival of an Arctic cold front, with that scattered snow showers and snow squalls. So that could produce a brief additional amount of accumulating snow that could also greatly reduce visibility. And then behind this front, turning much, much colder and also very windy.
Really windy. We're talking about some snowfall totals today that are pretty much done, but the temperatures today will climb into the low to mid 30s. And then we are expecting just really cold weather Thursday and Friday, with wind chills in the single digits, if not below zero. We'll have more on the 7-day forecast coming up in our next hour of news, because we're going to stay on the air locally for you for one more hour.